Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and iconic staying power as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Green Shirt from Armed Forces, released in 1979. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. It's the clever type of piece that makes us feel as if we're in on the joke, that we know the song is about a newsreader. But then, of course, the ensuing indelible words and phrases take the listener on an unexpected journey into the shadowy world of espionage and other forms of treachery. And, as a bonus, there's even a little bit of sinister sounding architecture. There's a smart young woman on a light blue screen who comes into my house every night, and she takes all the red, yellow, orange, and green, and she turns them into black and white. There are 6 colors splashed throughout the 4 lines in an A-B rhyme scheme in this first verse. The dual meaning of smart, intelligent, and stylish immediately sets this piece apart with a sophistication not expected in a 2-minute and 42-second post-punk pop song. What I find interesting is how the word green is used outside of the title as well as in the title. Mr. Costello is not your ordinary wordsmith. He's absolutely fearless. His word economy is simply stunning as he captures with one light swipe the nature of how the media collapses in on itself. But you tease and you flirt, and you shine all the buttons on your green shirt. You can please yourself, but somebody's gonna get it. This chorus, this ominous threat, will be repeated 3 times throughout this piece. The first 2 iterations deploy a bit of an argument by using the conjunction but, a grammatical device that Mr. Costello continues to use with unparalleled skill. Better cut off all identifying labels before they put you on the torture table. Whether by design or coincidence, the mention of cutting off all identifying labels has always reminded me of the so-called Somerton Man. He was a smartly dressed, unidentified man who was found dead on an Australian beach on December 1st, 1948. Part of the enduring intrigue regarding the man's identity is thanks in large part to having had all of the labels removed from all of his clothes. This led many at the time to conclude that he was a Russian spy. I believe the mystery has been solved rather recently, which of course is far less gripping than the conjecture, yet the association will remain permanently fixed in my mind. Then, of course, there's the strategically placed mention of a torture table that acts as a perfect primer for the ensuing verse. Because somewhere in the Quisling Clinic, there's a short-time typist taking seconds over minutes. She's listening in to the Venus line. She's picking out names. I hope none of them are mine. First, the acorn, the mondegrin. Pick the expression you prefer to describe a misheard word or phrase. Most lyric sheets online use shorthand typist, but I've always heard it as short-time typist, adding lovely alliteration when describing what goes on in the aforementioned Quisling Clinic. The Quisling Clinic's facade architecture is nearly as interesting as its name, in my opinion. Located in Madison, Wisconsin, the Quisling Clinic was originally a Queen Anne-style structure that was then revamped into a mid-century streamlined modern style for the Quisling brothers, physicians originally from Norway. Mr. Costello's association with the word, as written in unfaithful music and disappearing ink, however, had only been associated with the Norwegian fascist collaborator from the Second World War. Upstanding as these brothers might have been, their name and the word torture sure fit together well. This seems like a good time to reassert that, while writing about music was like dancing about architecture has been attributed to Mr. Costello, it was actually a retelling of a Martin Mull line that Jake Riviera adopted. Regardless of attribute, the evidence is stacking up that Mr. Costello is a fan of architecture, beginning with the Art Deco of the Hoover factory, all the way to the mention of the Rococo wall and the award-winning Look Now's stripping paper. The man has a good eye as well as a tremendous ear. If the Venus line is a British reference that Mr. Google and I are not familiar with, please let me know. Does it add more information as to what she's doing with the names she's picking out? And while I might not get the reference, I do nevertheless get a kick out of how a Catholic with many names to begin with, who had recently taken on a couple of more professional names, and who will add Aloysius later on, hopes that none of the names are his. Never said I was a stool pigeon. I never said I was a diplomat. Everybody is under suspicion, but you don't want to hear about that. More examples of espionage and treachery are chronicled in quick and savvy succession. It's all right there in black and white, but no one wants to think that they're the culprit. What a fantastic turn of phrase. 'Cause you tease and you flirt and you shine all the buttons on your green shirt. You can please yourself, but somebody's gonna get it. Better send a begging letter to the big investigation. Who put these fingerprints on my imagination? Less of an argument and more of an explanation now. This third iteration of the chorus begins with because instead of but. In a moment, when the chorus repeats in the outro, both of these words will be dropped, leaving a simple accusation, you tease and you flirt. What a difference these small words make. Investigation and imagination. This sturdy end rhyme harnesses beautifully one strong admonishment about sending a begging letter and one perplexing interrogative when he asks, who put these fingerprints on my imagination? What an incredible use of narrative to further the intrigue that started ostensibly as just another news report.
Dig it.
Again, this has been a slow drag with Green Shirt from 1979's Armed Forces. I'm quite aware that there's been many reams of paper devoted to the exploration and meaning of this little piece of masterwork. I'm certain you know so much more than I do about it, at least in the world outside of this slow drag context. But this is an appreciation, this is an exploration of the linguistics and language of Mr. Costello's work. Green Shirt is a timeless piece that expresses the political and personal trepidation at the time that continues to echo. I just love the iconic words and images on their fundamental level. Other precious gems from Armed Forces you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episode 19, The Breath That I Waste. That's a slow drag with chemistry class. And episode 24, A Simple Game of Self-Respect, That's a slow drag with 2 little Hitlers. After 117 slow drags with Remedy podcasts, admittedly, this list should be longer. And while I adore every song, Close Line Reading finds a lot of unmistakable yet unexplainable sex and drugs and rock and roll. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon with another slow drag, so please follow the show so you won't miss an episode. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky Social at slowdragwithremedy.com. It's a social media platform created by the well-intended people who made the original Twitter, which I simply cannot support any longer. Please contact me if you need an invitation code. And as a reminder, as I continue writing my second novel, The Macron and the Breve, I've placed the audiobook version of my first novel, The Most Terrible Time in My Life Ends Thursday, on YouTube. Please follow the link provided if you'd like to listen for free. I know you'll love it. And as always, thank you for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with Remedy.